Welcome back to Chumming with the Spirits. I hope you're chumming and staying safe. We have the legend Parachum here.
I don't know about that, but
the ghost bringer himself.
Yeah, that's true.
We got JD, which stands for juvenile diabetes. No,
or delinquent.
And then, of course, the old guy, old G here. And we have special guest with us today.
Yeah.
It's Tommy and Nicole. We're doing a Tommy and Nicole TV South, Power Hour, something like that.
Yeah, something. We'll figure it out.
They have their own podcast, which is Drunken Cryptids, that Tommy's a huge part of, and Nicole really keeps Tommy in line. Is that about right, guys?
Pretty much, yeah.
So, they have Tommy shared a great story about a ghost train last week that freaked me out, which was just amazing, Tommy. I thought about it all weekend, but you guys both have a great experience, and I actually brought down my wife down from upstairs to listen to this as well. So the floor is yours. Whoever wants to take over.
No. All right. You want us to go?
Absolutely. Yeah. Tell us.
We don't know the story.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I know. I just
like which story are we telling? I mean,
we're telling. I'll start. You'll know which one.
Okay.
The story.
So at the time, my husband worked for a moving company as the sales associate. So he would go in and give a person a quote when they needed to move somewhere. And like, this is what size truck you're going to need, yada, 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 all this kind of fun stuff. So he had gone to somebody's house down in the city, in town. And
here in Little Rock.
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to say the name. I don't know if it matters.
I don't know, but I mean, it was a historical
area in Little Rock. And it's actually protected in that area with you can't redo those buildings.
Yeah, the house I think was made like in 1800s, I believe, or something around there.
Yeah, so it was a husband and wife. They're packing up and leaving. And it was a 2-story house. And you know how like you have like those banisters and you have like that wall and they have pictures and stuff going up the wall, going to upstairs. So he was talking to the wife. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong here just to keep you on track. But there was a lot of old time pictures, like early 1800s, like black and white photos, you know, the long dresses, nobody smiles, those kind of pictures.
Yeah, right? Military, World War II, all that, you know, kind of stuff, Civil War stuff. I mean, it was pretty crazy the stuff they had in there. You'd think he was in a history museum.
Yeah. So he was only talking to the wife at the time because he thought that was the only individual that was home, and she was going through saying, yes, I need this, this, and this, and he's writing down their inventory as he's going through so he can quote it correctly. And then he went upstairs into the attic, and there was a coffin up there.
Yes. There was a coffin in the attic. So some of the weird thing that I noticed up front when I first walked in is the woman was acting nervous, scared, like her voice was shaking. I mean, it was really weird. It was almost like an abused spouse type deal, you know. And it was either like she was in a hurry to leave or she was scared to say that she was about to move or something type deal. And then there was a cat that stayed right on us no matter where I sat, where I was at. The cat hopped right there. Watch him. Followed me through the whole house. So we started at the bottom. She was naming, you know, going in rooms, showing me stuff. They were, what do you call those cases that has like uniforms displayed in them? I mean, there was Civil War uniforms in there, guns, Indian stuff, and then, like she said, the wall. She started showing me pictures as we was walking. And one of the pictures was like an old military picture. I mean, it wasn't one like you can go to the mall and take and it looks old. I mean, it literally was old. And it was an old military picture. And she was like, oh, there's my husband. That's my husband right there. You know, like showing me her husband. And in the picture, the husband looked, I want to say around my age at the time anyway, you know. And I was like, okay, this is weird. She must settle for an older guy or something is what I was thinking, you know. And so we go on upstairs, and as we go upstairs, I mean, automatically I felt like somebody was watching us, or it felt weird anyway. And the more you got upstairs, the more, how do you say, like, heavier, yeah, like heavier and tight it got. It was like the air was just, you know, and there was more displays up there, older guns, like I said, Indian Civil War stuff. I mean, there was even bones in displays up there. So we just kept going, you know. She kept telling me stuff, and then, like she said, when she showed me the attic, it was like a crawl space attic in the upstairs room, you know, like one of those little doors you open up and there's the attic. Yeah, I saw a coffin in there. And obviously she said that was going. In my mind, I was like, oh, that's a cool Halloween decoration. It was not a Halloween decoration, it was a real coffin. So didn't think nothing of it, just kept going. Well, I mean, I did think of it, don't get me wrong, but in that type of business, you just try to go with it because there's been some funny situations.
Yeah, you're bound to see
But,
that kind of business.
sorry?
Right? You're bound to see everything in that kind of business, right?
Yeah. To do the estimate right, I've got to see the rooms. I got to see all the inventory because I got to tell you if it's going to be 1, 2, 3 moving trucks, what size moving trucks,
How much packaging?
yeah, how much package you need, how many people it's going to take. You know, I got to estimate all that. So it goes in. I got to have a lot of details, quite a bit. So, I think I was there probably. I want to say close to an hour and a half, 2 hours, which is normally about enough, a good amount of time for a walkthrough, depending on how big the house is. And then when we go back downstairs, there's a man sitting on the couch, not facing me, just sitting on the couch watching TV. And she's like, "Oh, there's my husband." And I'm looking at him, and I'm looking at her, and then I focus back on the picture that she showed me because I was like right at the staircase. The pictures were here. He was like over there, you know, in the living room, sitting on the couch with his back turned toward me. And I was looking at that picture, and I was looking at the back of him, and he still looked my age, you know, like he wasn't an old man. So I don't know why, but I was like, that is crazy. But again, from Kentucky, I've had some experiences. I wasn't even gonna ask a question.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So we go back to the kitchen and sit down, and remind you, she's had a shaky voice this whole time, like she's nervous through the whole process. But you know, I'm feeling weird at the time. You know, I'm still feeling like I've got pressure on me. Almost a little lightheaded. So I tell her, you know, at this point, I'm honestly, the way I'm feeling, I'm trying to get out of there. I'm trying to rush. So I tell her, like, okay, you know, give me at least, you know, till tomorrow, and I'll have this estimate ready for you. You know, normally I can have them ready in like an hour or so, but like I said, I'm just trying to buy some time, trying to get out of there. And then finally, I get out of there. Of course, the cat sees me to the door. So I get out, I go back where I parked, you know, and I'm looking back at the house. And as I'm looking back at the house, for some reason, I just feel like there's something staring at me from the upstairs window where all the stuff started. And I look up there. I mean, of course, I don't see nothing with my eyes, but you know how you can just look there and it's like this images start popping in your head, like there's someone looking at you. That's how it felt. I felt like I was in a movie, and it was.
Well, to be fair, people that don't have capabilities do not know that, but yes.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so it felt like a movie when you're watching a movie and the people are looking there and they don't see nothing, but then the camera keeps blinking off like, oh, there's something there. Oh, no, there's not. Oh, there's something there. Well, that's how it was doing. You know, I felt it. I seen images like they were, but obviously with my eyes, there's nothing there. But you couldn't make it out. Like, and that's what I hate about stuff like that, when you don't know or you can't make out what it is. A normal spirit demon whatsoever. I mean, you can make it out. You know what it is. You can tell what it is, one or the other. But it's when it's something that you can't tell. It's not even human or ever was human. It is, and that's what it was. But it was there at the house. I'm out of the house. I don't care. You know. And now one of the things when I was upstairs, I smelled cigarette smoke, like somebody was smoking or something was burning. I left that detail out and I apologize. But didn't think nothing of it. But as I left the house, as I left there, I think I came from there. I think that was my last one that day, and I came straight home. And I came in the house, and automatically, I just wanted to tell her what happened. So I don't know if I started telling you a story or what, but I smelled smoke the whole time.
Yeah. So to back up, it was
Yeah.
a Saturday.
There.
And that's important for this story. So it was a Saturday. He'd done a Saturday house call to do this packaging, which isn't, out of the realm of normal stuff for his job at the time. And I had just had my daughter. She was 2 or 3 months old at this point in time. She was a baby. So he comes home. I am still in that struggle of when my infant is sleeping, I am sleeping. We're all just trying to adjust to life right now and just leave me alone unless I need to be awake kind of thing. So when he got home, we happened to be in a wake window. So he was telling me, oh yeah, this is weird stuff. And he told me everything he just told y'all about what he saw and stuff. And he happened to be wearing a shirt that I had just bought him. And all of a sudden, you could see a cigarette burn directly like at his heart of his shirt. Now, instantly, I'm mad because it's a new shirt, but that's besides the point, which I know is really dumb and shallow to say.
Tommy just ruined that shirt, is what you're thinking.
Yeah, it went all the way through, and there was nothing. We were in our bedroom, and I was holding my daughter, and our daughter. That sounds terrible. And
Depends on what day.
Yeah. And so we were laying in bed, and he was just telling me his problem. He's like, yeah, this crazy stuff happened at this house today, da da da. And all of a sudden I looked at him, I was like, what did you do to your shirt? I just got you that shirt. And he looks down, he's like, well, I felt something burning, but I don't know. And it was like dead perfect, a cigarette burn. Like, back in the day when your parents smoked in the vehicles or what, I mean, mine didn't, but and you got like that cigarette burn, like on the cushion or whatever, like that was the exact size, like right in his chest. And then
It was really weird because it was still, it was like fresh. It had the black around
like
it.
it was not there when he got home.
You touch it and like it was still like, how you burn it in black and you touch it and it peeled. It was fresh. It was crazy how fresh it was.
So we continued on about life, and sorry, we're gonna pause, change show for a second. But so anyway, so as things kept going, we just started to feel this weird stuff moving through the house, and it wasn't good. And since we both have capabilities, I've shut myself off a long time ago. But obviously I'm not ignorant to when something that is not good is within my household, kind of thing. So and I guess it's important to note, neither one of us are Catholic. I grew up in a very Catholic area, so I'm aware of what the Catholics believe, and all my friends growing up are Catholic. So there happens to be a Catholic church at the corner, and after, you probably saw it better than I did, and it's important to note, I have seen a demon before when I was open. This time, for this experience, I could only see a black shadow that was very, very tall. And that's as far as I would let it get, was to that point.
Where did you see it at, Nicole?
It was all over the house. The biggest part, and I will have to take a picture to send it to you. I have sage at my house all the time. I have my crystals. We pray. We have anointing oil. We have everything here to make sure that we're always protected, And immediately when I started feeling this very thick presence that he brought home, and it started zooming through my house. I mean, our house is not big. Let's not get it twisted. But I could feel it primarily in the hallway a lot, in our bathroom. And then it would come like around the loop and go into the kitchen and go down towards the back door for the backyard. And so I hurried up and got my sage out. And I put her in her bassinet and I started saging the house. And I started praying and did my normal cleanse throughout it. We have white trim in our house, and there are actually burn marks by the bathroom door on the trim where I was doing the staging to get the demon out of the house.
Yeah, and I had to take the shirt off because
it was burning him.
Before this, my whole body felt like I was on fire.
Yeah, he started peeling his clothes off like he was in a fire.
I mean, I felt like I was burning. I mean, it was crazy.
So,
what did you do with the shirt? When you took it off, did you throw it away? Did you,
No, we still got the shirt.
Yeah, for some dumb reason.
Actually, yeah, I didn't even think about it. We probably should throw that away.
Anyway, we threw it on the ground because what I did afterwards is after he started feeling that way, because he didn't start peeling his clothes off and freaking out until I started cleansing the house. And it was attacking him. So he brought it in, it attached itself to him from those people's house and came into my house and invaded my space and my safe space for my family. And absolutely not. That's not going to happen. So I've never felt more helpless outside of that tornado that we had a couple years ago in not being able to protect your child. And she's an infant. She's a couple months old. Like, we've got to protect her at the very least, kind of thing. So I loaded us up. We drove up to the Catholic church, and they have a 5:00 mass, and they were just finishing up mass. And so we sat there and waited for everybody to dismiss from there. And I walked up to the priest and I was like, hey, I feel very odd being in here because I'm not Catholic. So like, I don't know everything, but this is what's going on. And I really, really need your help. And he said, absolutely. So he goes, where's your, well, at the time he wasn't my husband yet,
but the back up on that though, and when we first went in there, there was a priest that automatically started staring at me. Like, we didn't give anything away. I mean, like, we didn't tell nobody, but he was looking at me, but he wouldn't come toward me. But he kept his eyes on me, like he knew something was going on, and it was really weird. And, but yeah, it was just really weird. Like, he did keep circling me. Like, he left the group of people that he was with, and he kept like hovering sort of around me, but he wouldn't come close.
Really?
Yeah, so I thought that was really weird. After,
Yeah.
But with everything that was going on, I was like, well, maybe he senses something.
Or he's
Because
sizing you up when he's doing this, right?
yeah.
yeah,
So, and that was while I went into talk to the priest that had given the sermon. And I was like, because I asked him, because he had his microphone on. I was like, is your microphone off? Because we don't need to be projecting this. And he said, yeah. So I told him what was going on. And he goes, yes, let's go into a room where, where's your daughter? Where's your fiance at? Like, let's go. And so we went into this room and we put my daughter in the middle of all of us in her infant car seat. And then the three of us held hands and he started praying. Now, I was on the left side of the priest and Tommy was on the right side of the priest. And as he was praying and doing everything, the left side of him felt fine. It was the right side that did not. So afterwards, he had told us we were allowed to take some holy water and stuff like that. So we went out to the car. I got an empty water bottle and got some of the holy water. And I went directly to the Christian store that's a couple miles away in our town. And we bought some anointing oil. We bought the St. Michael's coin and all that. And as I was going through the store and looking up, like, what do we do in this spot? Because in my hometown in Pennsylvania, we have an actual Catholic store that you can actually, there is holy water in there from the Vatican, and there's all that kind of stuff. Where this store is not like that, since we're not in a big Catholic area. So I was like, what are we gonna do? We don't have half the stuff that I would normally use. And I put the roller of the anointing oil on his arm in a cross, and it burned his forearm in the store.
That's how bad it got.
So he, the priest gave us his phone number and said, if we can't get it out of there with the anointing oil, our prayers and the St. Michael prayer and everything like that, then we need to call him. And he gave us his personal cell phone number, and he would come do an exorcism of the house to rid the beast.
And again, at this point, I'm like, holy crap. I mean, we was scared because whatever it was.
I don't want to go home.
No.
Well,
I mean,
absolutely. That's
And I
horrible.
didn't know where to go because it's attached to him. So what am I going to do?
and then now the messed up part is, we're not messed up, but the dogs, we have dogs, of course. We have 3 Rottweilers. They was barking, howling, whatever this thing was. I mean, they sensed it. They saw it. I think, as when I started burning and everything, I think their barking is when it went down the hallway.
It was when it went down the hallway.
Yeah. So,
And I trapped it in the bathroom. That's where I felt it the most. And I'm not sure there's another time in my life I've been that scared, to be honest. Like, I'm really not. Like, being a person that has dealt with spirits as long as I can remember, they've always been friendly, outside of one other occasion that was very quick and no big deal. But they're usually friendly. They're usually ones I know. They're, and that kind of thing. So to not know what was in my house and to know 100% it was here to either take us or kill us was terrifying. And having a 2 to 3 month old baby, however old she was, baby.
I mean, whatever it was. Apparently it had been tortured. It was being tortured, something. I mean, for it to be, or make me feel like I was on fire. I mean, and maybe it was somebody that got burned alive.
No, it wasn't human.
No, it wasn't human. That's the reason I don't.
It was. I can't say this 100%, but in my own beliefs, it was the devil himself. I don't think it was the other demon I'd come into contact with was not the devil, in my opinion. It was just another demon and one of his men.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. It's, so you're talking. You thought it was another demon, like they're legion. There's a ton of them, but there's certain ones that are pinnacle. That
Yes. If this one that was here was not of the absolute utmost top, it was Satan himself in, to me, a black form. But it was thick. It was strong. It was very strong. I've encountered some strong spirits before and have had no issue with getting them to pass on. This was an all-out fight. But we did. So after I went and did all that, I think it took me 2 or 3 times of saging the house to finally get it gone. And then I didn't even realize the burn marks in the house until probably a couple weeks later, because you're not really looking, whatever. Like once everything felt better, I was like, whew, all right, we can sleep now. Everything's okay.
Well, on top of the thing about the devil, now, regardless of what people say he looks like, he, as a kid, I do believe I've seen him. My grandma protected me from him. And
But your aunt didn't.
Yeah. And he sort of does. I mean, okay, I want to say it's the devil, but I don't know because, again, people's descriptions get lost in history. This type thing was a pig-looking creature, demon type thing. Well, this is what I saw as a kid, so that's what I'm saying. I don't know if it was or not.
Okay.
I'm just going by on descriptions. People say sometimes he looks like,
Yeah.
So, and when I was a kid, I that's what I saw, and I didn't know that was a description until I got older.
Mm-hmm.
But my grandma did protect me from it and said, "No, you're not touching him." Again, I don't know what my family or my grandparents was into, or my aunt, like you said. But when I was young and I was seeing a lot of this stuff, they did some kind of prayer chain where there were 6 of them in a circle and they prayed for me. And I wasn't able to see any of this stuff anymore. Like, didn't have any, couldn't see none of that. Couldn't see ghosts, nothing like that. It wasn't until I got older, I got comfortable with what I realized I saw after seeing some other incidents as I got older. I sort of did a prayer to ask for some stuff again, but slowly, I guess. But I didn't start getting it heavy until certain members that I didn't realize this again. Sorry. I just wasn't keeping track. It didn't comprehend on what it could be. But the ones that was in that prayer circle, as they started passing off, I started getting more and more and seeing stuff. And my grandma and my other aunt, they passed away. When did my grandma pass away? I mean, it was
3 years ago.
Yeah. So, and the thing is, after my grandma passed away, is when I started seeing it heavier. And now the thing is, and again, I don't know what they were into, but my aunt, which is my grandma's oldest sister, everyone's passed away but her. She still looks the same age. She's been married probably, I think Mom said, on the 10th time now. All of her husbands passed away. And she is sort of the one that led the prayer chain. So again, I've not looked into certain parts of my family other than some stories that I've heard. I heard a story about my grandpa that I was named after. My mom walked in on him while he was balancing a pencil on the tip without touching it. But I mean, there's just some stories I've heard about that. But that's, again, that can be something else. But
well, Tommy, you have a gift as well, right? I mean, we've talked a little bit. You've seen things, and I'm not even talking about the ghost train, which is still an amazing story. But and Nicole, I don't know if it's okay to bring it up, but your ex-boyfriend, Tommy, you saw a full operation of him in your place you live now, correct? Yeah, and he kind of gave you the go ahead, like, hey, everything's cool.
Yep. Yeah, I thought that, and again, I don't want none of his stuff going. I want him and her grandpa and all them. I want them to stay in this house because to me, they help protect it. But during the situation that we were talking about, whatever that was, that was another thing that made me nervous. I was like, where are they at? How come they're not able to do anything? And that's another thing that made me realize, okay, it's not human. It's something different.
Right.
So go ahead. Sorry.
So after we got back from the Christian store and everything, we came in, I did sage the house one more time, praying and everything like that. But we turned around and, oh gosh, we probably said it 3 times, the St. Michael's prayer. But as soon as we did, he seen St. Michael. I know that sounds crazy, but
Oh, it doesn't.
So on that part, I'm sorry, I just can't get over the experience on that one. I mean, imagine watching a BA movie, like I don't know. But the experience on that was when that happened, the feeling that came over the house, the sight that I saw, like from the backyard, like you could see the trees like lit up, like the trees were blowing. I mean, it looked so beautiful out there. A sensation came over the house like it was, I don't know, like a beach feeling. I can't describe it.
Well, for me, it was kind of like, so I saw the white light, and I mean, like, bright white,
Yes. I mean, imagine the sun being as bright as it can be. Sorry, I gotta go pee. I'm getting excited in the mode.
And
sorry.
Oh, sorry, baby.
You tell me it's okay.
And so it was that, and then, like, in the movies where you see, like, in an action movie where, like, you get, like, the tidal wave of motion going through, like, whether it's whatever, some crazy impact that's happening. Like, that's literally, it came from the backyard straight across through the front of the house. And, like, once that wave went through, as we were seeing the bright light of St. Michael, it was completely gone. everything was gone. It was so light. Everything was great. And this was still it was still daylight outside. Like this was probably 6:30 in the evening in the summer, so the sun doesn't set until 8:30, 9 o'clock. So we had a lot of daylight left. Don't get me wrong. And we still did it one more time. We still said the St. Michael's prayer and then did our normal prayers and stuff like that at night. Just for comfort, realistically, and to make sure like the house was still protected. But that was, especially, I grew up Baptist and they don't preach that kind of stuff. And I've even talked to the church that I grew up in about that kind of stuff before. And they basically said that I was praying to an idol and doing everything that's completely not Christian like. And I completely disagreed with that. Therefore, I don't go to that church. And, well, I don't even live in the same state to go in the church, but regardless, that was the end of that. And they just looked at me like I was crazy that I even had seen anything or had any experiences of positive things. I did not tell them about anything negative because at that point in time, I hadn't had any negative experiences. So just to see their feedback on that kind of stuff really altered my state of a lot of things that people go to church for, kind of thing. And so I became a combination of still Christian 100%, but I'm also very spiritual now. And I found what works to protect my family and myself. At the end of the day, for us, or I can't really speak for you, but for me, Jesus Christ is our savior, and I know that he watches over us, but to know, like in the Bible, when you read that Saint Michael will come when you need him in a heartbeat, he definitely does. And I think that made me more of a believer out of everything than anything else I've ever seen. Because he and I, growing up, like I said, we've been through some very sketchy things that as a kid you don't know that are wrong, that you shouldn't have been subjected to, so you don't know any different. But our lives weren't necessarily threatened at that point, but that day they were.
Yeah.
And to know that you could pray and call on God and he's there.
And that's the thing, and that's the thing too. I was raised up Baptist, holiness. I didn't know the difference between churches. I just know if you worship God, you worship God. You worship Jesus, you worship Jesus. To me, you worship the same guy I worship. Cool, that type deal, believing in the stuff. But I was always taught about Michael being God's right hand man. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't think, So when all this happened, and we did that, and you can't. Yeah, you can talk to God like you're talking to your best friend. That's right. That's true. He always listens. But
you're so right. A lot, and not to disrupt you, because I also want to hear what you saw. But a lot of people that don't have that faith or have God in their life, they think of it's religion. They don't understand it. It's not religion. It's a relationship. I truly believe that. I don't look as a religion. I look at it as a relationship between me and God.
Exactly.
100%.
So I'm just letting you know, I think I know where you're coming from.
And I understand completely. And I don't mean to. I'm not trying to push any kind of religion on anybody. And this is just their opinion. Let's say that because
this got preachy.
I'm sorry. I'm not politics, and I don't do anything like that.
No, good.
But with just this situation, you know what I mean? But so with what we saw, or what I end up seeing after all this was happening, I was standing, I want to say probably right here in the living room and looking at all this, because with everything that was going on, and it's just that feeling and the light and the wind, I was like, what the heck? Because how come all this back there was doing stuff, but you could look out the other window, it wasn't doing nothing, And then just what got me also after all that is when I saw the white wing flapping in the kitchen, just like half of, you know what I mean? Just like one half, and you just see like a flap and it's gone. I'm getting cold chills thinking of it right now. it just like after that, and then everything just suddenly stopped, but you had that feeling, and it was like, holy crap. Yeah, everything was like, everything's good. But it was just like, hey, you're good, or like it's done, or, it was just like a signal. But when I saw that, dude, I was like, oh my gosh. I just couldn't believe I saw that. And it changed a lot of my perspective about stuff. And I've been in this sort of stuff for a long time. I've been baptized, I've been saved, I've been all that. You know what I mean? I've read history, stories. I don't know, just seeing something like that for myself and going through this experience. That's the reason I keep that coin with me, because it's actually helped me more than once. Not just with that, but just I could have gotten a wreck a couple of times. People passing, was it red light? So I was about to, green on my end, of course, but red on their end. But they keep going. They kept going. So not even thinking about it, my foot stepped on the brake each time and stopped me from going forward.
Just happened. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. But again, with that perspective, though, on that part, yeah, you got a relationship with the boss, with the owner, let's say. But let's say, wouldn't he send his manager to try to do something first instead of him doing it, just in case? So that's how I saw it. He sent his top manager to take care of the situation.
Right.
So let's
You had a question.
no, I was gonna say let's take a 5-minute break because I need to change out the memory card on this thing because it's full. And I've got questions.
Yeah, I got some questions.
Okay.
So give us just a minute and we'll be right back, folks.
Dude, that's an awesome shirt. Where'd you get it?
Yeah, man. This is my favorite new podcast that I've been listening to, Chumming with the Spirits. They talk about paranormal, drink whiskey. It's pretty badass. You should check it out.
Where can I check them out at?
You can check them out on cwtspodcast.com. They actually have our shirts for sale. They've got really cool drinking gear. It's pretty awesome. If you like to drink and you like to talk about ghosts and Bigfoot and crap, I'd highly recommend checking them out.
Well, whoever did that logo is probably pretty cool.
Yeah. Go check them out.
So welcome back to Chum with the Spirits. We have OG, Parachum, JD, two special guests, Nicole and Tommy. Amazing stories up to this point. We're about to get to the Q&A of your big story that you just talked about.
And there's
here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Cheers to two wonderful people.
Oh, cheers.
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 Longtime friends.
He does cheers too.
Awesome.
We love you long time.
All right. So before Parachum goes down 15 different channels,
Rabbit holes.
I want to ask you, you're both not Catholic.
Right.
As you told that story, something hit some resonance in me.
Mhm.
St. Michael's very powerful.
Yes.
He did the prayer, all that. But some people don't understand how St. Michael's is a person that was human that became sainted. He's named after one of the major archangels, Michael.
Yes.
When you mentioned you saw the wing and the light, have you thought maybe it could have been Michael himself?
Oh.
I think that's what you were saying.
Yeah, we
no.
didn't say archangel. We should have.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was referring as Michael the Archangel. I'm sorry.
We have the
Well,
Saint
there's a
Michael
bunch of Johns in the stories and Michaels too. So I just wanted, because that's, because like St. Michael himself showing is amazing himself, a great protector. But Archangel Michael, the right hand of, because you said right hand of God. I just want to get that clarified.
To me, that's what I believe who it was the Archangel Michael to come down and just the power and the sensation we felt. And in that, I was like, wow.
Totally different guy than what's on Supernatural. Just throwing that out there. But
And I
no,
don't care who it was, but he
But
picked
that's
it.
what I'm saying. Either Michael, and again, like you said, but
Yep.
either Michael, it was an amazing experience.
Well, I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole and say I absolutely 100% agree with you. First time I heard Nicole talking about it, I said, "Quit talking," because I want to hear this when we episode because it just thrilled me to death and gave me chills. But what the coins you had and the prayers that you were the Michael prayer, the Archangel Michael prayer that you were saying, I do believe that's who it was. So I'll just leave it at that. And I know Parachom is going to have some.
we'll try to
We'll try to reel him in. He's not as drunk as normal, so this is going to be okay.
Yeah.
And
We'll see.
and if he gets out line, I'll hit him. It'll hurt. So go ahead.
So the first thing after hearing that story that I have to ask everyone is, I don't claim to be knowledgeable about this stuff as much as others. And when we're talking non-human interactions, I guess people would call it possession or like demonic activity.
Just stick with the non-human. Okay. Yeah, it makes it easier.
You don't normally see the aggravated aggression
that quick
increase that quick. It's usually over a period of time. To me,
from your understanding,
from my understanding, to me that shows just how ultra powerful this entity was. What are your guys' thoughts?
I would concur that. No, for something 100%. Yes, I think something to take to pick up on you, follow you, burn your clothes, cause havoc that quickly because normally the other things that we're talking about that are non-human, Legion, generally it takes weeks, months, years. That's a beautiful thumb. Just,
Sorry, I had to plug my phone in. I was going to die.
No, I get it. And I think you were absolutely right with the path that you went and how it went. And, you telling that story, I'm not going to lie, you talking about the light wave going through, just sent not a chill through my spine, like a calmness through my mind as you explained that to me. The light, the wing, you guys are truly blessed to have that, and I'm glad that rectified that situation because no one wants to deal with that type of situation where you might be powerless to do something.
And I think I have a little bit of an answer to your question. So, most possessions, attachments, like you said, usually takes weeks, days, months, years. I think you have two people that are gifted that recognized it right off the bat because of Tommy's past and Nicole being able to be open. And I think they recognize that. And Nicole's like, no, not happening here. So that's why it escalated. And that's why it was able to be taken care of immediately.
I like that answer.
To be honest, I think that also ties into why something powerful would come down and protect because of
your gifts.
Yeah. I mean, they truly are gifts, however you want to look at it. But when you're open to that, you're open to a lot of things, good and bad. And I think there's a tug of war that generally tries to happen. If they get a chance to tempt, that they're going to. But
what do you guys think? I mean, you think what I'm saying is, you think I'm dead on, or like?
Yeah, no, I think you're 100% correct. I mean, for me, as a mother in general, it's fight or flight, right? Kind of thing. And I'm going to go to literally the depths of hell for my children and the people that I love, regardless. And you're not going to come into my safe space and invade anybody that I love and hurt them. So, I mean, it was legit war in my house very, very quickly. And I think that's why it escalated. I think you're right. I think if we both didn't have capabilities, or even maybe if only one of us had capabilities, it probably would have been like, yeah, okay, whatever. And it would have progressed over time, like your typical haunting, or I don't mean that like it's not real, but you know what I mean? Like a normal haunting or a normal something happening crazy, to where all of a sudden it was like, all right, it's on, let's go. And here we go. And then thank goodness the right side won.
I never correlated it until just now. Is it known or documented that people that are open and have abilities more susceptible?
Oh yeah, no, it's been documented. If you're open and closer, generally closer to God, right? You have the stigmata effects
of bringing.
Yeah, so you get as you get closer to God, the more temptation. We've actually
That's absolutely.
I was talking more about capabilities, like.
Yeah, no, I think
he's open.
I think it's both. I think it's the gifts, because as you realize, like if you can see things in that, there's a connection of what's allowing you to do that, and that's where it comes in. I would like to say I appreciate Tommy, you willing to give your hair up for you to protect your family. We all make sacrifices. Yeah, that's all for protection. Yep.
Yeah, and to your point, JD, I mean, also with my family, it's always taught to, because I'm not the only one in my family that can do it. One, I believe it is generational, 100%. But two, evil preys on children and the elderly because they are more susceptible in general. And
they pick on the weak.
Yeah, just like a virus.
So if of course I'm going to protect them as well. And my other encounter was actually in my grandmother's bedroom. So that's why I knew that kind of confirmed everything with doing the children and the elderly, because now she's in her 80s, but she was in her 70s at the time.
Oh, wow.
And she had even said, so when I came in and told my Arkansas mom, was like, hey, I saw this, and this, like, this is a problem. And you talk to grandma, and she goes, yeah, grandma's having nightmares, and she's kind of describing what you're saying. I was like, well, we about to do a whole blown exorcism in her little apartment, because that's a problem.
Wow.
So yeah.
Now, you said this is just a random request.
Yeah.
Because I think it would be phenomenal to see. You said you still have that shirt.
Yeah.
You have it.
They got to find it somewhere.
Yeah, hold on one second.
You know where it's at?
Yeah.
We got time. Dude,
you got to be kidding me.
I'm just saying, if we need to do this till 2 or 3 in the morning, we're willing to sacrifice our
Nicole,
time.
you don't throw anything away. What is with you these clothes? Your ex's clothes, you're keeping them. What is going on with you, man? You cut them up for rags to clean the house. What are we doing?
I'm just saying, I think if we're friends with her, she's going to keep us forever. That's
No, I was all for getting rid of the shirt, to be honest.
Yeah.
He did not want to get rid of the shirt because he really liked the shirt prior to all of that happening.
It has a hole in it.
I know. That's what I told him. I said, I pick my battles, though. Like, you're married.
You can buy another one.
Tommy,
swap it out.
I will buy Tommy a shirt. Tell Tommy.
Wait a minute. I've already sent Tommy a shirt. Yeah. It should be there any minute now.
This is
it was his new Affliction shirt, it was an American Fighter shirt, is what it was. And
I can see that.
I couldn't find another. Like, I literally went back to the same store I bought it at and tried to find another one the next day, and they didn't have his size, and so he was just beside himself, which is why he didn't get rid of it.
I bought a ton of Affliction shirts for the kids in high school. Who pays $125 for a T-shirt?
Because they have to use more material to make them.
At one point, did Tommy do MMA at one point?
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I thought. I read in one of those.
Cool.
Yeah. I was like,
yeah, and my cousin did too. So that's kind of one of the reasons that we bonded. My cousin actually had to move out of the state of PA because MMA, cage fighting, whatever you want to call it, is illegal in Pennsylvania. So he actually moved to West Virginia to do it. And he was like a 3-time midweight champion, like world champion for it and everything like that. And he's shoot, he's in his like mid to late 40s now. They have like this ring down in, he doesn't live in West Virginia. He moved back to PA, but he'll drive down to West Virginia and fight these guys because he's also like a 3rd degree black belt in jiu-jitsu. Forgive me for anybody who's watching and I messed that up because I have no idea, but he's very well versed in all that. But
That's
yeah, okay.
That's
So
a weird thing to have a ban on.
All right.
So holy cow!
Holy
Look at
shit.
Can you
that.
see it?
Yes, absolutely, we can see
Okay.
that.
That's like a cigar.
So yeah, and then you can see the burn mark around it, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can tell that literally was burnt,
This
and like
is a
that
shirt he
wasn't
won't
just.
get rid of that he has in every other color.
So
Tommy, I'll buy you a new shirt, bro.
does it go just that one side, or does it go through the entire shirt?
I was in shape, and it made me look really fit. And
Does it go through the back as well?
No, it's just through the front, right?
No,
Burned it right into the chest. Well, and it's not just a cigarette hole. That is like somebody rubbing it in.
No, it's like I said, cigar, like a big cigar.
No, well,
I smelled like somebody was smoking or something was smoke about it, and I didn't know it was me.
Well, Tommy, we got a little bit in common. I did Golden Gloves. I got my black belt in Taekwondo when I was a young teenager. Then I went to Bushido Khan. I trained with Bob Thunder Thurman, who was a world champion kickboxer, and Steve Mackey, who was #1. Actually, he went to Japan, did a shoot match. This is back in the 80s, by the way, Tommy. I'm much older than you. And he beat their champion in 2 rounds, knocked the guy out. What I never got into was a ground game. I just never thought about it. But as I got older and watched my kids wrestle, I'm like, oh my God, that's an amazing self-defense because most fights do go to the ground. And I was always like,
only if you're bad at striking.
well, but that was never a problem.
Sorry.
That was never a problem. Striking was my thing.
No, we brought up while you're gone that I had read in one of your bios that you did MMA.
You had no idea. That is awesome.
And that's the thing. I mean, when I was younger and I did all this stuff, I was a showboat. I wanted to be, I'd brag, I'd talk. And it's like the older I get, I don't really tell people much about myself. But yeah, I did it for,
It hurts now. It hurts a lot.
Exactly. And I was very lucky not get cauliflower ear.
No, I was going to say, you're really pretty for an MMA fighter.
Thank you.
Well, I'll just say, I don't have anything either. I did wrestling and I did some full contact for a little, not to this big guy's level.
You thought that was making awkward.
But no.
Well, Keith was a wrestler, OG, so you shouldn't hate him for that. That's what I still have of his.
Well, my kids wrestled, and my younger son got his black belt when he was 7. He was also a state wrestler, champion wrestler, and the most well-rounded kid. But once he got really good, he quit.
That was eating Cheetos and playing.
He wanted to play. He wanted to play baseball and stuff like that.
I did Okinawan Kempo.
Well, I can tell you a quick story about why I left. If you,
yes, please.
I mean, it's sort of embarrassing because it's an ego thing, but I learned as I go. Don't let your ego get in your way because you're going to mess up on a lot of stuff. But when I was younger, I held 3 different titles. Quit, baby.
Well, she's moving the cord, and I'm trying to.
Oh, I thought she was touching it.
Sorry.
But I held 3 titles. I held one for probably a little over a year. And the promoter at the time was bringing in someone he knew, of course, and he wanted me to basically give the title that I worked hard for to this guy. And I was like, well, yeah, if he beats me for it, fine. But I'm not going to, I can't remember what it's called, but I'm not going to lose on purpose,
You want to take a dive.
You want to take a dive, yeah.
Yeah, right, that's what it was. I'm not going to take a dive, no matter how much.
Jake Paul and Mike Tyson.
Right, yeah, that wasn't scripted like Jake Paul and him, so.
Yeah.
I don't do scripted, we don't even do scripted on the podcast, so.
Yeah. So, same here. There's nothing
it's all live.
No, it's just all alcohol.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even, not enough alcohol is going to have me go against Mike Tyson. Sorry. I don't care how old anybody is.
Yes.
But
58.
No, wait a minute. Just when you want to go one round, just to see.
Okay, whoa. If I have the same contract as Jake Paul, yes.
Yeah,
no holds barred. No, I'm not hopping the ring.
If Jake would write the script and tell Mike Tyson not to hit me. And, like they did him. If it was the same script, yeah, I'd do it. Especially for the same amount of money. Heck yeah, I'd do it.
I wanted to spar Tommy Morrison so bad. He was big here in Kansas City. His left hook, I think, was better than Tyson's. I think he hit harder than Tyson. Matter of fact, Pinklin Thomas said Tommy Morrison hit me a lot harder than Tyson ever did. And also Trevor Burbeck. And remember, he beat the crap out of young Tyson, and Morrison knocked him out in the first round.
I was going to say Tommy Morrison. I met him. One of my trainers, which was my uncle, sorry, I don't know what to do with my hands. But one of my uncles that was my trainer at the time was a top boxer back in Kentucky and Tennessee and stuff like that. So he's one of the ones that helped train me. I had 3 trainers, and he was one of the ones that trained me with the boxing part. And he actually had a chance to go up against Mike Tyson, but he turned it down. And this was when Mike Tyson was in his prime. So
I don't blame him.
Yeah, but
5
he would
second knockouts. That's bad.
Exactly.
Reputation.
But he would spar. Tommy Morrison actually came to the gym where we were at and actually sparred with him.
Which is spar for anybody else.
Sorry, yeah, sorry.
I know what he's trying to say.
So that's how I met Tommy. I didn't know he was big, if that makes sense. But yeah, I watched it. I sparred with him, and seeing them 2 spar, I wouldn't do it because one of the other guys that they were sparring with. He busted his nose just with one hit under 5. Like, no, I'm not. I'm good.
Yeah.
Well, my face got busted up so much, it really didn't bother me. It was the body shots that bothered me. So it was never about getting hit in the face. That wasn't a problem.
Well,
if you're not pretty to start with.
Yeah, I was actually good looking in my 20s.
I've seen pictures.
Yeah, you can't tell now, but
I looked like I was cropped. I had the abs and everything, But yeah, back then, honestly, it didn't hurt. I went through an issue at the time, so I felt like Superman.
Okay, well, I want to hear the rest of your story while you got out of it, and then I'll tell you my
sorry.
I'll tell you about my famous fight.
So he wanted me to take a dive. I wouldn't do it. So they try to cheat me out of the title during the fight. They try to say I gave up, I tapped, or whatever. I didn't. It was obviously like, what the heck, And so they try to call it relinquish just the title to him and all this and that crap. So of course back then in the fighting, I was addicted to pain, all that kind of stuff. I had anger issues too. Well, I took my aggression out on the guy and the promoter, and I damaged the promoter's spine. Not meaning to, but when you're mad, you do stuff that at the time you don't think about how much damage it can actually do to a poor person, especially the promoter. They're not in shape or anything near physical able to take the hits that we take.
Well, they're not trained fighters.
But maybe they should watch their mouth when what they're saying.
Okay. I think JD's getting pretty whiskeyed up.
No. Well, so I find this interesting because there's a lot of combinations of this. Keep going, Tommy. Sorry.
No, but that's how I messed up. That is, I think I got sued for it. But I damaged the promoter's spine. I hurt the guy that took the title basically for that crap. I damaged his shoulder, his ankle, and his wrist. I couldn't go back to that. And then I was going to return when I was about 27, 28, but other stuff happened and I didn't get the return.
Well, see, and that's what I was going to do if I bought the Raiders. That's what I would do the Chiefs.
That's right.
And it makes me feel bad because I actually went back years later and found the promoter and I made amends to him. Of course, he did have situations out of that, and now he's a deacon or preacher or something. So that was really,
Maybe you moved him to God, Tommy. Did you ever think about that?
Oh, well, maybe. But
it saw the light.
I did feel bad for all the stuff that I did at the time.
I've never met a professional fighter or a fighter that didn't have a conscience? When
Well, when I was younger, I don't know if I did or not. I was looking.
Well, I think I'm thinking more like in the ring. I can tell you side story, and we'll cut this out.
No, it's all
Mickey Rourke was professionally boxing. If I don't know if you remember that or not.
I do, yes.
Okay, so Sylvester Stallone happened to be in Kansas City because Tommy Morrison was fighting, and they're doing the Rocky Balboa, the story with Tommy Morrison as Tommy
30 years ago, by the way.
So I'm there. I'm at the fight. I'm at the fight. I'm about five, 6 rows back, ringside, not really ringside, but 5 rows back. And Mickey Rourke just had his fight. That was the guy took a dive.
Yeah.
And Mickey Rourke's fights were rigged.
Yeah.
And he comes out, and all these girls that are dancers, usually on stage with poles, were around him, and the Morrison fight's about ready to happen. And I was a young guy. I was like 25. I want to watch the fight. Now these people are in my way. So I was with some buddies of mine, Paul, he's from the gym, and some other guys. I stood up and I said, sit your, not so nice self down, because I'm trying to watch the fight. He looked at me like he was going to do something for a second. So I stood up. Mickey Rourke's not a big man. I think then I'm 6'2".
He's 5'10" at best.
Yeah, not even that. Not even that. So I'm 6'2". I'm in fighting shape. I'm about 230. I stand up and look at me. Mick, what are you gonna do? You're gonna get hurt. I go, sit your butt down, because you're not gonna do anything about it. Call security over. Everybody sit down. The fight went on. So that was my almost fight with a famous person. But I did spar the Kansas City Midwest heavyweight champion, who may or may not be in prison for murder.
Not confirm nor deny.
I busted him up pretty good. We're sparring. We went to the same gym. I busted him up really good, but he happened to take a dive against Randall Tex Cobb, and he also got beat by Peter McNeely before Peter McNeely fought Mike Tyson.
Did he take a dive for McNeely?
No, he got knocked down 3 times.
Oh, he actually got beat by Neely.
Yeah. So anyway,
this is like
that's my famous. Not as good as your story, but that's my
boxing.
That's my famous story. So that's it.
Oh,
I have a question about the story that he told.
Okay, yeah, we should. Yeah, well, let's get back. Let's get back to the podcast. Yeah.
So before I ask my question about the story,
You should ask. Do they need to take a break to eat? Because I feel like.
Do you guys need to take a break real quick?
we'll eat after we're done.
I just got to pee real quick. So if you don't need me, you can talk to him, but I got to go to the bathroom real quick.
All right.
Yeah.
Sure, I can't answer a question without you.
Oh, shut your mouth.
That's true.
Well,
I mean, that's what I heard.
Did you two have any other questions about the story before I ask the final one?
The final 5?
The final one.
Okay, well, go ahead. You sure you got the final
question?
Maybe we should wait.
Final countdown. Do we need her back?
No, but this is for Tommy. After that incident happened, did you go back to that house to finish the job?
Oh,
of course, that's your question.
Wait, what? Which story?
The St. Michael story.
So, did you go back to the house that gave you that attachment
to finish the job?
No, I never went back there.
Okay,
No.
Fair enough.
Never went back there. I mean, as far as I know, I don't know if they ever even did the move. But yeah, no, I never went back.
That's fair enough either.
Okay, I'm going to go down a Larry Parisham hole.
I bet it lost.
You think that was a setup move to get an attachment to go to attach to someone else?
Oh shit!
If you didn't do the move.
Oh crap!
I mean, that could explain why the girl was shaky and stuff. Because I mean, she was scared of something. Yeah.
You think you were set up, boss?
That's fair.
Well, and that's the thing, though. Like, of course, she wouldn't have known who was coming. I'm assuming she wouldn't know who was coming. I don't know, but
if you had something that powerful, could have been telling her, "Hey, you bring someone over, and I will leave with them." I'm just asking.
But no,
I don't know.
I mean, it could be. I mean, at that time, it could have just been like, hey, we need somebody fresh. We need somebody new, something like that. It could have been. But yeah, because I mean,
I 100% think that that's what happened.
because as like I said, as shaky as she was, as scared as she was, I mean, she was scared about something.
Nicole,
and again,
I'm sorry, Tommy. Go ahead.
No,
go ahead, buddy. I apologize. Go ahead.
No, the cat. Like I said, the cat. I cannot get out of my head about the whole story because it literally hung around me, watched me. I mean, it's different from a regular pet. That was different from a regular pet.
I'm going to squirrel for a moment on the cat thing. My great grandfather, after he passed away, we had a shop at my grandfather's house. It was a 3-bay garage where we worked on all the dump trucks and everything like that. And there was a cat that showed up in the wood chip pile after Leo had passed away, my great grandfather. And that cat lived for way too many years, number one. And I'm convinced, I'm not a cat person. I'm just not. Clearly, we have dogs. I'm a dog person.
Not really either.
But there's something about cats, man.
Well, I know cats can go back and forth from either one.
We were convinced.
You mean dimension?
We were just convinced that Chipper. We named the cat Chipper.
Yeah.
But that Chipper was Leo. In just visiting form.
And side note on the story that goes with that. I don't normally tell people this, but I'm just going to say it anyway since we're all doing this. And so I died twice. And then I have somehow seen both sides. And so
it's not somehow, it's the ant thing.
Yeah. And so that's the reason I said if I can't tell or know what it is, that's the reason I was stumped and worried. And again, I can't get the cat out of my head about this whole story.
Do you think the cat was
the cat had something?
Okay, so but here's my question on this that I've never asked you, but thinking about my Gramps and all that. So what if the cat was the actual physical human embodiment of the man that this demon possessed, and he was trying to warn you when you were there?
That's how I look at it. I look at it as the cat was following you around to protect you from whatever was about to happen.
Not chase you, to protect you. Heavily Rain.
I mean, that's I think that might sort of make sense because I really don't remember the cat going upstairs with me. I think she got it.
You don't know this word, huh?
Well, that's what I'm saying. The cat, she grabbed it.
Oh, the woman grabbed
She
it.
didn't let it go upstairs with me.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's another, yeah.
That's when I felt all that pressure and everything.
Everly, do not kick back.
Major detail.
Yeah, you didn't kind of left that one out there, Tommy.
I didn't think about that. I just now realized that, holy crap, that is see, a lot of the stuff once especially that, I try not to.
No, it's fair. We're giving her a hard time, but yeah, you don't. It's until you start retelling it that you're like the small details come back, and you're like, oh shit, I probably should have paid attention to that.
Yeah.
Do you understand, Tommy, that Nicole is so in tune with you that you're not getting away with crap, bro?
No, and that's the thing.
You're dude, don't do it. Just you're in trouble.
It goes back to when we met because literally we laid everything out up front. We both had that same mentality, and it was just like she knows me better than I know myself. I mean, it's crazy.
That's rare.
That's awesome, guys.
But she hates you in your dreams. That's all that matters. That's good. You're doing
I always strive to have.
I don't like him now.
And I think I did get it finally. Like I thought that was going to be with Keith, obviously.
It could have been.
It could have been once upon a time had that been what was in the cards, and it wasn't. So that's fine because he gave me you, and that's okay. So, you're making me cry over that. But anyway, so my grandparents they met. So they were 7 years apart. So my grand was 18, and my gramps had just come back from World War II. So he was 25, which sounds weird to say at the time. But anyway, so she was a waitress at the diner, and he came back home and just went to the diner, kind of thing. And that's where he met my gram. And I have the cutest pictures of them from the time they started dating. I mean, until the very end of life of my gramps passed. about 2.5 years before my gram did. And they were more in love 65 years later than they were the day they met. And it was just, or the day they got married. It doesn't matter. Like, and I always told them, I said, this is what I strive for. I was like, I want to get married once, God willing, that's what happens. But I need that kind of love. And what's funny is like my Gramps was super loving. And, you know, before life jaded me, I was more of my grandfather. You know, I was definitely, I love you and super sweet and nice and everything like that. I know it's hard for you to believe.
It is hard.
It did happen once upon a time. But now, like, I'm my Gram and he is my Gramps. Like, he's super, I love you and he's super soft and everything. And I'm like, I'll cut your throat, but I love you.
I will cut you. No. Well, I'll be honest. I don't understand what may have brought us together. I am eternally grateful
The story.
for your
Absolutely.
story. You guys in general, it has been phenomenal and amazing
Absolutely.
to meet you two.
Absolutely.
You are rock stars in your own selves.
No, I'm in awe of the story, and Nicole, you're fantastic to talk to live as well. That one day when you jumped on our first live, you just kept us all entertained. Gave us such. And this is back when Tommy was handicapped with the throat and couldn't talk.
Yeah, couldn't talk.
Absolutely.
Because I was listening, I was like,
Well, yeah, I made sure I got as many jabs as I could. I was like, you can't do nothing.
It was amazing.
But Tommy, I think if we would have ran around same circles, of course, I'm a lot older than you. We would have had some. Well, yeah, what's going to be ancient?
Medieval? Is that?
How old are you? You're in your early 40s, is that right?
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's 40.
Or 35, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm past 55. Anyway,
You guys don't look it.
you're a good Tommy. I knew I liked you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
appreciate it. I'm 52,
But
turning 53.
if you ever, yeah,
60 in the corner.
Yeah, as long as I stay shaved, I look younger than I am. So that's,
that's a good thing, brother.
Good thing.
That's a good
We knew
thing.
how to dodge. You know,
I got caught out the
dodge.
other day.
Hey, we appreciate it. I feel bad that we're eating in front of you, so I kind of want to call it because this is rude.
No, you're probably fine, dude. You really are. No joke.
We'll
Yeah, we're
probably, if you don't mind, we'll end the podcast, keep the live going, the recording, and as we eat and be so disrespectful to the interview, have you talk more if you don't mind, because like
if you want to,
if you want to,
we know you need to eat as well.
Oh no, you're good.
You're fine.
You were good.
We had a weird lunch,
Yeah.
so it's not a big deal.
I picked out as soon as I got back home. I ate some leftovers. I'm in charge of leftovers, apparently.
Okay, that's the real thing. If you don't eat leftovers, there's trouble.
Yeah. So let's end the podcast real quick. We're wrapping up Chumming with the Spirits with Nicole and Tommy. Is there anything you want to shout out real quick about what you're working on? People should follow. Of course, you're going to hit us with all that information so we can make sure it's on the podcast. Take about 2 to 3 weeks to get the podcast out. But what's I feel like I'm channeling the friggin' hot guy.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, this
He's
is
looking at me.
hot ones.
Hot ones.
Shout out to Hot Ones.
Shout out to Hot Ones. Amazing interviewer and food, but you guys.
You got
amazing
that camera. You got that camera.
Yeah, exactly. But you guys have been amazing, supportive. I cannot express the love to you two
And
what you've done.
Just the value of today's episode.
Yes, it's been amazing. So what can we shout out for people on this podcast that's going to come out maybe 6 months later? I don't know.
Well, one thing, when you guys do a live again, we'll talk about some more stuff while we're doing the live.
Absolutely.
I got some side notes, interesting stuff that I'd like to talk to you guys about. But with as the host Matthew of Drunken Cryptids calls it, what is it? Podcast time travel. So when this comes out, hopefully we have the YouTube channel up that we're wanting to do. We're still under construction of the name. I do apologize. We have it narrowed down to 2.
Okay.
So we're still focused on that. But you got we will put it out there. You guys will be be the first to know as soon as we do it, of course.
Yeah, that way we can promote it.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so
Please.
like I said, we're going to
Maybe
do.
we'll narrow it down by then.
Yeah, Davey will narrow it down, but it's going to be like a family YouTube, so it's going to be kid friendly. It's going to be full of fun, games, families.
Cranking my window lickers. It'll be good.
Yeah, window lickers will be displayed. Yeah, it's going to be hilarious. And then at this time too, part of the Drunken Cryptid side, we're working on a podcast called Little Cryptids. Going to be by kids done. It's going to be done by kids for kids.
That'll be fun.
It's going to be based on research of little cryptids and stuff like that. So hopefully we have that debuted by then because we are still working on it as well.
Mhm.
And then the live show is going to be this coming weekend, so that'll be over with time this comes out.
Hopefully, we're both there so we can heckle you.
Yeah, well,
I hope you guys are there.
not now.
Awesome.
I don't want to go to the ground, so forget it.
I'm
not heckling.
I heard you guys talking about mashed potatoes and stuff earlier. So when you guys come there,
Applesauce.
No, we're not doing the applesauce. No, red skin potatoes, some garlic, whatever. No
I'll cook
applesauce.
for y'all. Yes.
Yes, but also if you guys go to Old Bart's where we're having the show at, there's a thing called. Not only do you try the Drunken Cryptids burger, but you also got to try a thing called Hot Mess. It is mashed potatoes, corn, cheese, either brisket, chicken, or whatever. I get it with barbecue brisket, but it is delicious. If you get the Tommy's version, it's huge. So
I know you guys aren't going to do any live on that. After the show, can we do a little bit of a live as we eat that amazing food?
I would love to actually, because I was even going to ask, depending on what day you guys came in before the show or whatever, I was going to see if you guys wanted to go out for dinner or something the day before.
Be glad to.
I don't know if we're going to make it the day before. That might be kind of hard.
Yeah,
but
it'll be sad.
We'll be there before the 5 o'clock. So if we wanted to meet a little before,
maybe Sunday.
Lunch or something.
Or maybe Sunday the day after. We're willing to stick around because you're that amazing.
Yeah, let's do something like that just so we can chill, talk out,
Love to.
It'd be awesome.
Love to.
Well,
without the cameras and the people.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'll be honest. Like Matt was talking on the live that you've been saying great things about us. We'd like to meet him in person at least a little bit.
Yeah, he would love to meet you guys, and he's definitely he wants to be he wants to talk to you guys too.
Yeah,
would love to meet him.
And hopefully, while we're there, we can get that all figured out because we'd love to meet the Cryptids of Corn. We haven't done anything with them yet either.
Yes.
But we want you guys spotlight. We're cheering with you. We'll get the pom poms, everything for you guys. Let us know what we need to bring.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, whatever we can ever do for you guys, we certainly appreciate it.
Same here, guys. Anything you need, let us know. We've got you.
No, it's been fun. Like, I feel like even though we haven't met yet, like, I feel like we're all friends regardless.
Yeah,
and like, so like, I was thinking about this the other night too. Like, for me now because I'm very, very new to TikTok because I'm very resistant. And I feel like this is like the AOL chat rooms back in the day, like when it was cool.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's how I found y'all. Like, we're like in an AOL chat room and all that kind of stuff. So like, it's fun for me to kind of relive that part of my life. And so like, it's cool that it's come full circle and all that kind of stuff. So I can't wait to meet y'all when you come down.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But yes, I will definitely, I'll fatten y'all up while you're here. And then I can also ship, but I did come up with my name. My bakery is going to be Boss Babe Confections.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay. Work on the logo.
Do you have a link for us yet?
I have a logo.
Yes.
Yep. It's on my phone. That is.
We'll get there.
But I will send it to you.
Please do, because I'm going to order some cinnamon rolls to take home.
Because I'll be honest, talking with you
and
guys.
Before y'all come down, tell me whatever you want me to make, and I'll make it.
No.
Like,
let us take you out to eat. We're not going to do that.
And then we'll put the.
You work hard enough. No,
we just offered to take you guys out to eat. It can't do that. What the heck?
We'll figure it out, Tommy. I'm not going to roll on the ground. I'm not going to roll on the ground with you, though. I can tell you that.
Reminds me of a show I watched earlier. Wait, what are we talking about? I got lost.
No, I'm just saying. I think Nicole, you're right. Talking with you guys on the lives and everything it's like talking with old friends from years ago. Yeah. So it's been a pleasure, Tommy. You've done so much with looking up to the EVP and checking things out.
Thank you.
And
Thank you so much.
You guys both have been great. So please let us know how we can help.
Yeah,
promote
please.
anything with you guys. We're looking forward to meeting Matt, Cryptids of the Corn, which does a big a Paracon in your area. We need to promote that as well. And then anything else, you're Notary Republic. You gotta give me the information so I can do some business cards for you and send them your way or bring them with me.
Yeah, notary signing agent, e-notary. They either call it a dual notary, it's something else, but I've got 3 different notaries under my belt. Also, I'm a marketing consultant. So
yeah, business marketing, advertising. If you need to know how to cut costs, all that kind of stuff,
yep,
you can do it.
You're too smart to be a fighter, my brother.
Well, that's what I'm learning. That's what I'm saying.
Like, I don't have time.
Used to, I was all about the bulk and the muscle. The older I get, it's more about the mind than it is that. So
absolutely,
I got my associates in marketing and arts and everything like that, and I got my bachelor's in business, but she has bachelor's in business too. So it does help because I do bounce stuff off her, of course, because she's better at grammar than I am. But yeah, I go in,
read everything.
Yes. Oh, Apple's mommy right there. But I actually got to go meet with a young lady next week who wants me to come in and see what I can do to help her get her business more out there. And now she's been around for 4 years, but this kind of stuff I love doing. I love going into a business, seeing how I can grow it, seeing what they need to do. I love doing that stuff. I actually even got invited to be part of a roundtable sorry, I just broke the stand. But
so I got nice invited. Things, Tommy.
I know, right? But I got invited to be on a roundtable actually the end of this month. Yeah, the end of this month. Part of Forbes magazine, Fortune 500. There's a couple other magazines on there. I can't remember all of them exactly, but yeah, they want me to be on their roundtable once a month to talk about depending on what business it is, but to talk about their business situations, what can improve their stuff, their guidelines, different kind of structures. So, I mean, I felt really privileged that they reached out for me for that.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just freaking sweet, man. It's just so much stuff's happening and I love it. But yeah, man, I've done it for years. I got over 25 years experience. And I was like, dude, let me just put this knowledge together and start helping other people. So
absolutely, that's fantastic.
Which we need to get together offline about doing some sort of con, a podcast con. Because what you're talking about is what we've been talking about, what John's been talking about, everybody else. We need to get together, harness the superpowers of people like you. How can we make things go better? Matt and everybody else. We all have the same.
John more money because he's saving up for his big anniversary trip in September, so he doesn't have a lot of vacation time. So if we can somehow replace his income, we can all get together.
You're thinking the same lines.
We were just talking about that. We've been
wondering about that too because
I want to meet John so bad.
I love John. He me and him will pass stuff back and forth like we're doing.
Yeah.
I've even got 2 more things I'm about to send you guys that
on my shirt. Yeah.
2 groups sent me. And one of them's a pretty good sized name, so I don't want to mention it at the moment. But I'm about to send you a clip that they sent me of a possible Dogman encounter. So that's really exciting.
That'd be awesome.
I've not worked with it yet, but I cannot wait to work with it. And then there's another one that I have already debunked, but I'm sending you the original clip, and then I'll send you the debunked clip.
That sounds awesome.
So, to promote John real quick. So
we got you
okay. Right. And on his live on Sunday, he needed a slogan. Guess who won?
You won. Yeah.
Of course.
I heard it. That's right.
The mullet made me do it, which is
that's awesome.
Backwards on the screen, but it's okay.
Actually, it looks right.
It's correct.
Oh, I don't know. Okay, we're gonna check.
Whoa.
I'm also gonna drop you. I hope that you're good on concussions.
Well, I've had several, so I'm pretty good.
No.
Oh, Arsenal. We're gonna get yours soon, though. It'll probably be Monday because UPS is terrible, but it'll be all right.
Unfortunately, I'm sorry.
No worries. I mean, we'll do a whole thing and shout y'all out too for sure once we get everything. So
if you get it on before Monday by 7, just hop on the live. because we'll be on live Monday at 7 p.m.
Monday at 7. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. We should.
We're on the same time zone, so
Yeah. Yeah. John's an hour ahead of us. That makes
yeah,
life difficult because he always has his lives during bath time on
yeah,
Sundays.
6 p.m.
So it gets. Well, then put them on. Then put them on.
You want to close it out, Jeremy or JD?
So you ready to close the podcast down? Open up to open forums of non-political, or do you guys need to be going?
No, you're fine. I just got to put this back on the stand since Tommy broke it when I got up for a second.
So thank you for joining us with Chumming with the Spirits. Nicole and Tommy, they have broke multiple things, but they have not broke our hearts yet. OG Heritage. Thank you for warming our hearts with your story of St. Michael's and Michael's. Amazing group of people. We look forward to multiple collabs in the future. We're hopefully going to see you in about a little over a week.
Very excited.
Yeah. So
Peace and love. Thank you for turning in. Thank you.
So next time,
Thank you.